goes, yeah, and Batman just fucking smacks him. Bruce just smacks him. He's like, what did I tell you? It's about finesse, okay? I used your own strength against you. He's like, you hit me in the face. He goes, yeah, your face hit my hand pretty hard now, didn't it? Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content on my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games, I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. But now, chat, we're going to go ahead and move on to my spoiler review, my scene by scene breakdown, chat, for Batman the Animated Series Episode 32, Robin's Reckoning Part 2, chat, the last chapter. And the Robin's Reckoning duology, chat. We open up on Robin, who's pretty fucking pissed at Batman, chat. He's driving through the streets of Gotham. And he's like, I gotta track him. He knows that Batman is going after Tony Zucco, the murderer of Mr. and Mrs. Grayson, chat. Dick Grayson's parents 9 years ago. And he's furious at Batman for not involving in the case. He's like, this is the opportunity for him to finally confront his parents' killer. And for some reason, Batman doesn't want him involved. And Robin, he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. He knows that he can track the Batmobile using his Robin cycle, chat. So he does a few little beeps and bops and boops, and he activates the tracking me on the Batmobile. But Batman, he's currently trying to track down Tony Zucco. He believes he knows where his location is, and he sees that Robin is tracking him. He's like, Robin, what did I fucking tell you? Don't do that. And he turns off his tracking beacon, chat, making it impossible for Robin to track him. And Robin's like, ooh, Batman, you won't deny me my justice. You won't make me lose Tony Zucco like you did all those years ago. And we get a flashback, chat, to a young, baby, chubby-faced Dick Grayson. He's doing some fencing practice in Wayne Manor with Bruce Wayne, chat. And Bruce, you know, the young, strapping, 20-plus-year-old playboy billionaire, chat, he's doing a nice little duel of Robin as well. Or not even Robin yet, quite yet, chat. There's little Dick, as he likes to call him, chat. And Robin is going, on guard, and he's, sword dueling everything. And Batman teaches him, is like, remember, it's not about strength, it's about finesse. He goes, yeah, and Batman just fucking smacks him. Bruce just smacks him. He's like, what did I tell you? It's about finesse, okay? I used your own strength against you. He's like, you hit me in the face. He goes, yeah, your face hit my hand pretty hard now, didn't it? He's like, oh, you're horrible. He's like, yeah, wait until the green tights come in. But then Alfred stops by. And he goes, Master Wayne, Commissioner or Lieutenant Gordon's here. He wants to talk to you about that thing that's going on. And Bruce is like, Dick, why don't you go ahead and continue practicing your maneuvers? I'll be right back. And he goes, okay, Bruce, okay. But then little Dick Grayson, chat, he's a little snooper. He's a snooper. He's a little sneak. And he's listening in. He's watching and listening on Bruce meeting with Lieutenant Gordon. And Lieutenant Gordon basically tells, like, listen, we think Tony Zucco is going to go on the lam. He's going to try to get out of the city at this point. And, which is, we want to capture him. But probably, Dick Grayson, he won't need to stay with you. And Bruce is like, I'm going to keep that fucking kid. I paid for him with money. And Lieutenant Gordon says, more power to you. But chances are he might sneak out where all of our leads have dried up. We might know where his location is, but it's very difficult for us. So, but we'll keep it in the loop if we find you anything. And Dick Grayson, he's pissed off. He's like, fuck this. That guy killed my parents. I will not let him escape. And so he, it's later that evening, chat. Everyone retires for the evening. Everyone goes to bed. And he sneaks out of Wayne Manor, chat, and he hitches a ride in a bus. And he goes to downtown Gotham, chat. And no one goes down to downtown Gotham past midnight. Don't do it. Even the bus driver's like, hey, kid, you sure you want to get off here? He goes, yeah, don't worry. I'm trying to look for my uncle. Have you seen this man? And it's Tony Zucco. He goes, haven't seen him, kid, but good luck to you. Just stay safe. He goes, thanks, mister. I appreciate it. And little Dick Grayson shit, he goes to all these establishments and asks these people if they've seen this man. A lot of them say no. A lot of these people are fun. Some of the people are nice. Like people just walking by, you know, and they're like closing up shop because they want to go home to their families. And they got to get up at 5 in the fucking morning and go do this all over again. And they go, no. He passes by this newsstand. This newsstand guy's like, get the fuck out of here. You want to fucking hit you. And guys, this guy's like, shit. He's like moving away. Eventually, Dick Grayson, he sees a little bit of a scuffle, chat. He sees, like, literally, I was shocked by this. They don't say what it is, but it's like, it's obvious what it is. We see a man in a very, you know, ostentatious suit, chat, and he's talking to a very well-endowed woman. That's all I'll say. And, you know, he's like, hey, Cindy, do you have the money from your rounds tonight? And she goes, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to work. You gotta fucking earn me money, girl, okay? She's like, Chucky, I'm trying, Chucky. He's like, give me your fucking purse. She's like, no, I need that. He grabs the purse. He's like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, you dumb broad? She goes, I need the money. You don't understand. My kid and my mother, I'm just trying to take care of them. He's like, I don't give a fuck about you or your mother or your kid. You have an obligation to get me paid, and I give you a cut. That's how it is. And Dick Grayson, it's like literally, it's a pimp and a prostitute. And you see in the I think it's the first time we see a pimp and a prostitute in Batman animated series. They don't say what they are, but it's obvious what they are. We see this again in Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker during the flashback sequence, when Batman and Barbara are trying to find out what happened to Tim Drake. And they're talking to all these whores, all these prostitutes that are working on the streets in Gotham trying to find him, which I think is interesting. But, you know, Dick Grayson sees, he's like, hey, leave her alone. He's like, fucking mind your own fucking business, kid. Get the hell out of here. He's like, I told you to leave her alone. And he just throws himself at him, and he starts pummeling. He's like, what the fuck, you crazy little shit? And he's like, don't hurt him. Don't hurt the kid. He doesn't know what he's doing. Kid, just go. Just run away. He's like, no, I'm going to defend your honor. And he goes, I'm going to beat the shit out of you, little shit. And Dick Grayson, he's like climbing up this fire escape, but he flings himself forward and he hits the guy right in the face. And the guy's like, oh, my nose! You broke my fucking nose! And Dick Grayson keeps climbing up the fire escape. I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna kill you! And he like climbs up. And Dick Grayson, he's just waiting right at the top of the fire escape. And the guy's like, oh! And he just fucking roundhouse kicks this guy in the head. Until he's like, oh! He just falls all the way back into a dumpster, chat. Slam! And the thing falls down on him. And the prostitute's like, oh my God, are you okay? Come here, we gotta get out of here, come here. And you hear the guy in the dumpster going, I don't feel my legs. Oh, the cockroaches are climbing into my nose. It's like he's paralyzed, Chad, from the neck down, and cockroaches are going inside of his nose, probably to lay eggs, which will then slowly feast upon his corporeal form. Anyway, Dick Grayson and the whore, they go to a diner, chat, where she buys him a nice slice of cherry pie and some hot cocoa, and she's like, wow, kid, looks like you haven't eaten for days. And he goes, sorry, I'm just really in a rush. Have you seen this boy? Have you seen this man? And she goes, I can't say I have, I'm sorry. But then this waitress comes on over, and she pours more hot cocoa for little Dick Grayson, more coffee for the whore. And she goes, I've seen that son of a bitch. Yeah, bum. He comes in here, barks orders at everybody, never fucking tips. Piece of fucking shit. And she's like, you have, where is he? I think he lives in that fucking building over there. It's been condemned for half a year now. But people are still living in it. And he goes, thank you so much. Ma'am, you should choose a different profession. She goes, I believe me, honey. I wish I could. And he fucking leaves. Jay leaves. And he goes over to the condemned tenement building. And he peeks in through one of the windows, Chad. And who does he fucking see? He sees Tony Zucco, who's just scared out of his mind, chat. You could just tell, you look at him, he looks like a piece of shit. He's smelly. He's putting all these clothes in this suitcase. He's like, just all this time. And Dick Grayson's like, I can call the police on him. I can get him right now. And he's walking towards the phone booth, chat, because this is the early 90s and cell phones aren't a thing, chat. I love how, though, even in the Batman animated series, they acknowledge, like, this, like, Batman, like, was in operation in the 90s to the 2000s. And that's how the technology is. I think that's kind of cool. Because they even reference the 90s throughout the animated series. Like, the year is 1992, this specific date. So it's kind of cool that they have that. But he's like, he steps on some garbage chat, and Tony Zucco goes, who the fuck did that? Who did that? And, Dick Grayson's like, oh, shit. He gets in the phone chat before he can dial 911. Tony Zucco's like, you! He's like, oh! And he grabs him, and he's like, who the fuck are you, kid? Who are you? I know you. I know who you are. You're that little circus freak, my material witness. Well, there's not gonna be no more material witness no more after I'm through with you. He goes, ooh. But right before Tony Zucco, he pulls out a knife, he's about to stab little Dick Grayson in the tummy. Batman's like, hey. He goes, huh? And Batman just starts beating the shit out of this guy. He's like, don't fucking hurt that kid. And Tony Zucco's like, ah. And, and Tony Zucco still has a hold of Dick Grayson at this point. He's like holding him, and he's got like a linguini arm because Batman's just punching Tony Zucco so much at this point. But Dick Grayson, he frees himself at that point, but he trips Chad right over a bridge, and it's really shitty and rusty and stuff, and the bars just give way. Like the railings give way, and he falls into the aqueduct. And Batman's like, no, he needs to wear the green tights. And Batman jumps into the river after him. And Tony Zucco's like, yeah, and there's more where that came from, you son of a bitch. And he leaves. He runs away. Meanwhile, Dick Grayson's like, help me, help me. He's drowning and shit. And Batman, he eventually grabs on the Dick Grayson. He's like, come here, just hold on to me, hold on to me, hold on to me. And they go over this fucking waterfall, chat, and Batman activates his grappling hook. And he throws himself and him over to the side, and they land safely, just going, and Dick Grayson's like, why did you let him go? Why did you let him go? And Batman's like hitting Batman's chest and everything. Batman's like, stop hitting me. Stop doing that. It's like, you don't understand. It's like, I understand that you let a murderer get away with it. I tried to stop him, but I couldn't stop him. And he's like crying, and Batman's like, hold on. And he hits like this button, the Batmobile shows up. He's like, where are we going? And we're like, we're going home. And he puts him in the Batwing. He gets the Batwing chat at one point. That's the Batwing. And he puts him in the Batwing. And they fly to the Batcave, and he's like, is this where you live? He's like, this is where I do my business. It's like, I don't like the way he said that. And he's like, wow, this is amazing. It is. By the way, I'm Bruce Wayne. And he takes the cape and coat off, and the kid's like, oh my God. And it's like, would you like to be my ward and fight crime and eventually resent me and then punch me in the face in season 3 and not talk to me for 40 fucking years in Batman Beyond? He's like, boy, would I? And, Dick Grayson, Chad, he becomes Robin. He's trained Ray. I mean, he trained as Robin for all these years. Batman's, partner, the dynamic duo, Chad. He's not able to have the dynamic duo that often because he's in college, but then we come out of the flashback, and Robin's like, not this time, Bruce. This time, Zucco is mine. And he goes to one of Zucco's compatriots' apartments, Chad, like the guy that they interrogated and beat the shit out of earlier. He goes to that guy's apartment. And he's looking around trying to find, because he might have written his address somewhere, but he goes to the phone. He sees the phone. He's like, oh, redial. And he puts a tracer on the phone. And so he hits redial, and it goes to Zucco's hideout. And Zucco picks up the phone and goes, hello? Who the fuck is this? Who is this? And Robin's like, I'm coming for you. He goes, oh! And he hangs up the phone. But it's too fucking late, chat. Robin's got the address. 1302 Ocean View Road. He's like, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I'm going to punch you like Batman punches the pores. Meanwhile, chat, we cut back to Tony Zucco's domicile, his hideout. He's fucking freaking out. He's scared out of his mind. All of his guys are relaxed. He's like, boss, what's wrong? It's okay. We got away. We'll get the next job. He's like, you don't fucking understand, okay? I come back to the city after 9 years. 9 fucking years. And the Batman is on my ass in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And I love that, too. They show Tony Zucco's age. His age is like, he has all these lines in his head, and his eyes are fucking huge. They're like the size of quarters, yeah. They don't blink. He's like, I've been looking over my shoulder for years. And it's like, boss, it's okay. Like, we know how to deal with the Batman. Don't worry, we got away. You don't fucking understand. You don't understand the Batman. He doesn't forget. He always knows. He always knows where you are. He always finds you. He's going to find me. Like, boss, take it easy. And then you hear like this, creak, creak, like above them, chap, like on the second floor. He's like, you hear that? And they're like, what? What do we hear? He goes, that. Creak, creak. And it's like, it's probably rats, man. I mean, this is a condemned building. There's vermin everywhere. He goes, no. That's the Batman. And I go, boss? And he grabs a Tommy gun. He's like, I know you're here, Batman. He's like, boss? And he just loads the gun. He goes, brrr, and he just starts shooting it on the upstairs. They're like, whoa. And they all take cover of the table. He just unloads the entire fucking 30-round clip into the upstairs room. And he just ends it. And there's like no sound. And I'm like, boss, just give us the gun. Just give us the gun. He's like, okay, yeah, I guess it was just rats. But then you hear this creaking all of a sudden, like the floor is giving way, and boom! Who fucking falls out of the top room, chat? Batman crashes right into their table. He's like, ah! And Batman breaks his fucking leg. He's like, my leg. Oh, Jesus Christ. His leg's gone a completely different fucking direction. It's like, ooh, that's not good. And Tony Zucco's like, oh, I got you, you son of a bitch. I got you. And Batman's like, oh, shit. Like, Batman's like, he got bamboozled. Just Tony Zucco's crazy ass almost fucking got him here, chat. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He got him. And Tony Zucco puts the gun up, but he pulls the trigger. Click, 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 click. No rounds. He's like, oh, no. Batman's like, haha. And he fucking throws a batarang at him, hits the thing out of his hands, and just throws a smoke bomb and just punches Tony Zucco right in the face. The thing is, though, Batman can't take on 4 guys at this point, Chad. He broke his leg. He's got a derpy leg. He got a linguini leg now. And he just waddles out. He waddles out of the condemned building. And thankfully, Chad, because we all know there's a bunch of condemned buildings and a bunch of abandoned amusement parks in Gotham City. And he goes into the amusement park. Joker's there just watching this, by the way. Joker's like, oh, there's Batman. I'm not getting involved. Like, Joker is literally there watching this take place and like, this is crazy. It's fucking hilarious. And he takes cover. He takes cover in one of the games, like one of those game booths. And he makes like a tourniquet on his leg because his bones is sticking out and he's bleeding profusely. Gets like a piece of wood and like ties it together, makes himself a splint, pops the bone back in there. Corbin, welcome to Stream Crew in the middle of my review for Batman the Animated Series, episode 32, Robin's Reckoning, part 2. Pops the bone back in. And these guys are like looking for Batman. This one guy goes to one booth. Batman's near. He goes, where is he? And Batman just fist comes out from the fucking darkness, chat, from the mist, grabs the guy's face and just flings him forward, chat. Hits one of the back of it, chat. He's just like, he's all fucked up. And Batman, he continues throughout the amusement park because he has to move because everyone starts running towards this area because they heard the commotion. And he goes to the merry-go-round. Some of the guys spot him there, and they tried to beat the shit out of him, like 2 of the other guys. But Batman manages to tie them up on some of the horses. He ties one guy up on the horse. He punches the shit out of the other guy and ties him up there. But Tony Zucco, he's reloaded the gun. And he's like, I fucking got you, Batman. Batman's like, oh, shit. And he's trying to move around as the merry-go-round's going around, chat. And Tony Zucco's like, I can't take any chances. And he loads the clip in, chat. And the goons are like, no, boss, don't fucking fire. You're gonna shoot us. He's like, I'm sorry. This is what I gotta do. I'm sorry. And he's right before he's about firing, chat, into Batman, into these games, Batman's like, I'm fucked. Who comes out of the goddamn darkness, chat, like a specter of fucking death? A green and red specter, Robin. Robin comes in with the motorcycle, chat. Grabs onto Tony Zucco's shirt, chat, and starts dragging him all across the boardwalk, chat, the entire time, all the way down to the docks. While Tony Zucco is just being dragged against wood, concrete, gravel, his back is just getting all, he's like, he's just getting all torn up, chat, this entire fucking time. Until Robin, he stops it, and he throws him right at the end of the boardwalk. Shit hits the bars. He's like, he's all concussed and shit. And Robin throws off his helmet. It's like, I've waited years for this. Tony Zucco's like, stop. Please. And Robin just takes him and just starts beating the shit out of him, chow, over and over and over again. And Tony Zucco can't even move because all of his limbs are broken. He's had several layers of back skin and ass skin and leg skin just completely just serrated off of his body, Chad, because he was dragged on the wood and the gravel and the concrete of the amusement park. And Robin's like just about to like finish him off, and Batman's like, Robin, hold on, Jesus. Robin, don't do it. And Robin like stops himself. He's like, you don't understand, Batman. He took everything from me. You would never understand. And Batman's like, really, motherfucker? The guy who was inspired to become a superhero, whose parents died, like I wouldn't understand. But Robin's like, oh yeah, sorry about that. You're right. And he throws. They hear the police sirens coming, Chad. They hear the wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. And he takes Zucco and he throws him. He's like, oh, he's all fucked up, and he's arrested. Chad. And Robin, he goes over to Batman. Like, that's the thing. Like, Commissioner Gordon goes there. Harvey Bullock goes there. They arrest Zucco. All of this men. They put him in the cars. Chad. Meanwhile, Commissioner Gordon watches Batman and Robin from afar, and Robin's like on the pier. He's looking out, and he goes, Batman, I'm sorry for what I said. I was mad at you for including me on this. I knew that, I understand now, you knew I would be too emotional, and I was, but I just wish you told me. And Batman is like, Robin, Dick, I'm sorry. That wasn't the reason. The reason why I didn't want you to come with me on this night is because Tony Zucco has hurt so many people. He's taken so many things from me. He's taken so many things from you, and I didn't want him to take you away from me. And it's a beautiful moment. And Dick is like looking at Batman's like, Bruce, that'll never happen. That'll never happen. You have always been my greatest friend. And it's sad because we know what happens to the relationship because it just fucking dissolves. Like, by season 3, Dick Grayson hates Bruce. And to see like this, I think, is the start of it. Because Bruce didn't trust Dick enough for this moment. And Dick, I think, even though he's saying all these things that he loves Bruce. And, he's his father, basically. He's his father figure. And he says that he loves him. You could tell, but there's always that little bit of resentment that's still there. And, he helps Bruce get back to the Batcave chat. And that is Batman, the animated series, episode 32, Robin's Reckoning, part 2. The beginning of the end of the Batman and Robin relationship in the DCAU, in my opinion. Great review. Thank you, Hamilton Burger. Thank you. Batman's an aspirational hero. He shouldn't kill him. Yep. Goddamn right. Goddamn great review of a brilliant episode. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful episode, chat. It's great that it focuses on the Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne relationship. It's just sad because we know what happens to it. It's like DCAU Bruce Wayne Batman is a sad story, Chad. It does not end well for him. I mean, when we come to the events of Batman Beyond, he's alone. Like, Dick Grayson resents him, hasn't talked to him in 40 years, or nearly 40 years, a long time. Barbara Gordon and him have a very rocky relationship. Everything that happened with Tim Drake, in the events of Return of the Joker. I mean, we saw the result of that. He's not part of the Justice League. Doesn't talk to Clark anymore. Doesn't talk to Diana anymore. Like, he's alone. Alfred's dead. It's sad what happens to him. All these other heroes, they at least went on to better lives, but not him. He pushed everyone away, and he ended up, for the most part, being completely alone until Terry came into his life and gave him a renewed purpose, I think. But it's sad. Yeah. Storytime Chris is the best. Thank you. Dobby is free. Dobby's free. Batman's rupturing organs and string people up. Feet first. He's Dexter for caping money. That's right. Batman does not need anybody to ruin the relationship. He can do it himself by sleeping with Grace's girl, which apparently happened in one of the comics. I don't know if that's canon with the DCAU, but it might be. He's obsession card. Yeah, he was just so obsessed that he never let it go. And where other people did. Robin let it go. Dick Grayson at least did. Yeah. 5 out of 5 dadas. How does Alfred die? We don't know. It's not explained how Alfred dies in the animated series. In Batman Beyond, Alfred is referenced occasionally, but we don't know how he passed away. We assume from old age. I mean, he was old by the time of the animated series in Justice League. So he died sometime. I think he died before the events of the original episode of Batman Beyond, which is 20 years before Terry and stuff, where Bruce decides to retire, pass on, he retires the mantle. So we don't know. He's buried under the Batcave, though, which is creepy. We know what happens to Talia. No, in Batman Beyond, I've reviewed some episodes. Eventually, they'll be uploaded to my YouTube channel, Class in the Glass. We do know what happens to some villains. Obviously, with Joker. Joker was killed by Tim Drake years ago, and he's resurrected again. We do see that, but he's then later killed by Terry. Bane becomes a fucking vegetable due to his addiction to venom, which we see in Batman Beyond. Ra's and Talia al Ghul is fucked up. Ra's is basically uses the body of his daughter to implant his consciousness inside of her. And he has control of her body, so Talia is effectively killed by Ra's al Ghul. And Ra's al Ghul is later killed in the events of Batman Beyond. Harley Quinn is alive. She apparently married. She had children. She has grandkids. I don't know what happens to anyone else. They don't. I think Poison Ivy has hinted at that she dies in the events of Batman the Animated Series. That she drowns on that ship, which might happen. I'm not sure about Mr. Freeze. We know what happens. Mr. Freeze, as we all know, he becomes that severed head. He dies during the events of Batman Beyond. He's buried under that debris. He basically effectively commits suicide. He kills himself. Batman Beyond's a very dark show. Like, DCAU is pretty dark. We don't know what happens to the Riddler. We don't know what happens to the Penguin. I think it's hinted at that they're buried underneath the Batcave. Man-Bat. I think Man-Bat's cured. Yeah. Yeah, Ra's al Ghul kisses Bruce. I don't like that robot head thing they do with Mr. Freeze. It's dark. Because in Sub-Zero, it's like, it kind of has, like, it's a bittersweet ending, and he comes back as like, fuck it, I'm a severed head. I don't want anyone to be happy anymore. Yeah. Someday we'll get to, like, check out my Heart of Ice episode of Batman, the animated series. That's on my YouTube channel, Chat Class and Glass. So go ahead and link that to you. I have a lot of these Toon reviews up there, my friends. I'm going to do all of Batman, the animated series, all of Batman Beyond someday, chat, the entirety of the DCAU. I also do full video and audio commentaries right now of Batman, the animated series, chat, and Cowboy Bebop and Star Wars Clone Wars. Yeah. You going to join Watchtower Bears? What's that? I'm not familiar with what that is. Gordon, he passed away sometime, apparently in his sleep. Barbara takes over as commissioner, and by the time the events of Batman Beyond, she's commissioner of the GCPD. But it's hinted at that he just passes away. Seems to be happy with all these Batman villains killing themselves. Yeah, a lot of them do. Well, they their futures are very dark. Like Bane's he might as well be dead. He's just a vegetable. Yes, Batman. You have a channel that knows the whole history of the DC and the time. Like, oh, I did not know about that. That's cool. Interesting, Chad. Interesting. Yeah, we don't know what happens to Riddler. We don't know what happens to Penguin. Well, I think Penguin dies in jail. I mean, because Penguin is arrested at the end after the events of in Batman Mission of the Batwoman. Rupert Thorne, Penguin are arrested and placed in prison, I think, for life. So they might have died in prison. Do they ever make a movie show about Alfred actually being Joker? Or is that solely a comic book thing? I think that's just like a comic book thing. It might be like a one-off. That's like a one-off. Mr. Jasmine Christie, you know the screen of Arrival and the company behind the Witcher TV show are developing World of Darkness, which includes Vampire the Masquerade, Universe TV show, and films. No, I did not. I don't know what that is. But chat, thank you. Hope you enjoyed both of those reviews. We're now going to be moving on to some gameplay, my friends.